started all of that, and we're still on mute. So good morning, everyone. This is Midnight Brands coming to you with Prep Breath for Thursday, March 30th, 2023. And we were just saying that nice overnight session. ES looks to be pretty strong there, as well as actually YM and RTY. They couldn't even really get down into their trend strength reference point zones. NQ dipped just like a smidge below and is pushed, 80 some points, 90-ish some points from where it was there into its trend guide reversal at the moment. And ES didn't even go down and tag its TSRP. So pretty constructive overnight, I'd say, if you're bull there. Also, if FYI, if you were trading gold has rolled over and is onto the June contract. It's no longer the April contract, so that is flipped over there for you folks. Showed the one screen there just a tad early, so just a reminder, everybody, for general purposes, we are not financial advisors or analysts. Nothing we say or do should be construed as any sort of buy or sell recommendation. So hopefully everybody is off to a great day, and we're going to go ahead and get started here. And yes, we will remember to flip our screen back. Thanks for anybody who might have asked. Okay, so, and we'll see if our buddy Cesar joins us or not. He may have some other things going on today, so we'll just have to wait and see. So SVXY's pretty clean there. Didn't have to actually go and tweak or do anything with it, which was really kind of nice for a change. Turn that down just a touch there. So you can see, and it hasn't really moved overnight at all. It had really small range yesterday and the day before that. And 74 cents is kind of a joke with it, but that makes sense. There was hardly any volatility yesterday. I think VIX had a whopping 76 cents. So yeah, I mean, it's really straightforward and simple zones there, right? Upside, you've got monthly trend guide, full ADRs. You've got quarterly trend guide there, which is kind of in that same vicinity. In fact, I would, I guess, go ahead and take it like this and just make it a bigger zone. You get up there, we're cranking, we're cruising. Like, that'd be a good one just to have as one bigger zone. So, in any event, I think that's really SVXY. Like I said, it's pretty clean, pretty straightforward. So, with that, I'm just going to kind of mark it all off. And then over to SPY. Oh, actually, yeah, we're going to do SPY, and then we'll come back to VIX maybe. VIX said, like I said, like no range yesterday, so like what the, we just skip that for right now. Okay, so $2.50, $2, sorry, on SPY with the gap there. It's going to move obviously all the ADRs and everything
Good morning,
else.
sir.
Hey, good morning. No, you can't hear me. Hey, good morning, sir.
How are you, my friend?
Doing great. You?
Fantastic, buddy. Fantastic. Ready for another day.
Yes, sir. Nice little gap and push there overnight.
Yes, indeed. Another one. So yesterday, you had a good day?
It was a okay-ish day. Too much stuff going on,
Nice.
but it was all right.
Oh, got you. Got you.
You?
Yeah, it was pretty much. It was nice. It was alright. We're starting with Spy today? Or did you already start and I'm just catching up?
I ran through SVXY already. It was clean. There wasn't anything to do with it, and I skipped VIX. I may come back to it or I may not. Like it only had 76 cents of range yesterday,
Got you. Alright.
so it looks exactly. I mean, the zones and everything are actually, I'm probably almost identical to what they were. So I'll probably come back to that here in a bit.
Alright.
So yeah, like SPY, well, it's already fulfilled this ABCD that we've drawn up. It just took it an extra day to get there.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it's already up at APP. Again, that won't be photo ADR, so it's really just going to be APP and supply and demand low, which we're coming right into. You got that kind of div-ish level that had marked up and included there right above that, which is the tier 1 daily cheat and end of week tier 1. But to me, the bigger one, to me, that I think we'll see, that may end up just being a speed bump. The bigger one is actually up higher, and the text, just calls out, double gap fill, full ADR, and weekly photo. But it's also in that vicinity is the weekly and monthly anchored VWAP from the highs of last year, are in that 407.50-ish area. So to me, that's a much bigger zone. You could choose to expand it and make it bigger and go up to WTG2, which would be $1.50. So up to you and how you want to deal with that. I kind of drew it the way it was, and then actually would have this go and capture the top of the range box like that. I think. And then of course there's another kind of more medium term, still really kind of short term, only going back to March 10th. ACV that points up even higher, almost 2 monthly trend guide reversal. So
We're already above that trend line there.
yes, because it's at 402.31 is
Okay. Got you.
and we're up at 403.60. Well, I mean, we're up past trend guide reversal already. In fact, we're above annual pivot point at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Jeff would be telling us to risk off,
Yes, he would. Oh man.
See, I don't know. I mean, it pretty straightforward. I mean, I did mark a really kind of crazy one. I think this is not a today thing. but I didn't think I'd wake up and see us up at 403-ish area. It kind of ticks me off because I had 403s, but I had them for yesterday. Because I thought we were going to go and attack it yesterday and not wait till today. But whatever. So yeah, I don't know there's much else there on that one.
No. Not for me at least.
For a second I thought that said 657.
It is 6:57.
Where you are. I did not mark this as a zone, I mean, it's really, to me, this would be a div. If you come into the 50-day and this tier 1 daily cheap, and it'd probably watch, if we blow through these things, it'd probably end up just watching for the 20-day. You know, certainly keep eyes open for that lower level, or for that div level, but we're probably more interested in watching for the look in here, WPP, gap fill, etc. So and that's getting down there pretty low at that point. Okay, look up Q's. So pretty simple on these as well, really. It's got a divish level there between the full ADRs and the zone above. That would be $4 to push up to the fulls. And that won't even be full ADRs actually, because they're going to move up by $2.50, $2 almost. So the full ADRs will probably actually be more closely aligned with the tier 1 end of week cheat and the tier 1 daily cheat. They're actually leaving this zone here just to be supply and demand high in the weekly photo ADR on it. Yeah. So would kind of watch that 320-ish level as a div, and then above that you get your bigger one with monthly trend guide 2, weekly trend guide reversal 2, I should say. Gap fill, lower edge supply demand, and the weekly full ADR is just right there.
Another plain one. Let me be right back real quick.
Yep. So then below, I'll expand this up here a little bit. Below is really tiny zones for trend strength, but it also has a 200-week SMA in there, and then there's some historical structure at 312. I think I'm going to end up getting rid of the structure find piece, or at least change it so it needs to find more than just 3 or 4 instances. Trend guides all by itself. and then you move down further and you've got weekly pivot, supply and demand. And it was last week's, no, not even last week's, weeks before that ties, right? Week ending March 17th. Yeah, and so then even further down below, that's where you get into a bigger one there with annual pivot, multi-trend guide reversal, supply and demand low, and then it would actually take it just a touch and grab the gap fill there. I'll probably do the same thing here. Fail that, then you're gonna probably more likely than not gonna end up grabbing this stuff, but really the trend is up at this point. There is some econ though today. There is initial jobless claims at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, combined with continuing claims, GDP annualized, and personal consumption, core PCE. So there's a lot of stuff here at 7:30 Eastern. Later this afternoon at 12:45 Eastern, 11:45 Central, we have two different speakers. You have Barkin, who's a non-voter, it says, and Collins talking at, again, 12:45 Eastern. In any event, that is the cues there. It is nice kind of seeing it. You got that little bit of cool off there. So kind of kept this from really exploding in the sell side symmetrical extreme. And it's allowed ES and SPY to really kind of catch up there. Obviously, one thing to note is up here further at the 315 area, you've got the November 22nd, 2021 day VWAP from the highs. So. Okay, and with that, we'll just quickly look at VIX for 1 second. I'm gonna close the door though. And then we'll go look at the indices. So really, as you can see, like it's just the same zones. Like, in fact, it's so tight on the zones that trend guide reversal, trend strength reference point, TGR, like they're all in the same damn block. So it gapped down yesterday and then didn't trade anything. So actually, I was wrong. It's 36 cents. So now it's now trading in UVXY style of range, which is unbelievably crappy. So, you know, maybe we actually see it come down and tag the OPEX end of week cheat stuff here, and then reverse and come up and tag, say, like MPP, and do something like that, or maybe come down even further below the OPEX and end of week cheat, tag the daily, and then reverse up and grab the MPP one. Who knows? Like, it's just it's kind of silly with where it traded at. So I'm going to move on from there, and we will jump over into ES, which is now trading up into last week's ranges, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago's ranges now. and is quickly approaching the tier 1 daily cheat there. That's my good buddy Adam saying. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it's up here into these highs here now from the 6th. So, and then you've got really some other big ones back here, 4107. And you can make the case here too for these up here at the 4090s. So, in any event, on ES, that's kind of how I see this one here. In fact, let's zoom this out just a little bit. Okay, so we're only at 31 points of overnight range, which is nothing to sneeze at, certainly. But we're coming up into, again, that tier 1 daily cheats. There's gap fill in there, and we're poking around last week's structure, actually, or the month ago structure stuff. Fuck, I can't even talk. It's March 6th highs. It's kind of where we're at there. We decided to keep pushing through there. We get up into the tier 1 expected move, cheat, etc. But you also have in there a naked VA. You have the range low volume node, which takes us back to kind of what that range has been, that we've been in through since April. And so I talk about range, I mean, it's looking at it here from this perspective. Of course, that won't draw because I want to show it, and but you'll get the point. There's a, if you draw range and a volume profile there. So where was that? That was this guy here. So. Yeah, I don't know I'd place a ton of weight there. I mean, again, there's some stuff looking back left in prior days, but I mean, it's kind of open, right? I mean, yes, there's the structure and stuff back here, but I don't know, like, take this stuff out and go grab up to the 4130s and stuff, like, or maybe go back and close these wicks kind of way back here, or that 4110-ish level. And so that's actually why I marked that as a div. Earlier when I was looking at things, you can see it's not marked there in the automated prep output. It goes from 40.99, 40.95, and then nothing until you get up to much higher at 31 through 24 with supply and demand high, your range, high value area, and full ADR is way up there. So potential speed bumps, speed bump right there, you know, potential speed bump coming up into this block here with the end of week cheat and stuff there, expected move. So yeah, on the downside, in my mind, like we obviously need to really hold that trend strength and this trend guide, which both really are inside zones. But to me, below that, like we start coming down through here, like we don't hold this 4,000-ish level gap fill, 50-day, 20-day EMA. Like we're in for some hurt, and would start looking down in these areas way down here. So we really need to hold trend guide kind of. We should view it as a breakdown retest, I guess, there against kind of the highs back here. So monthly.
Quite a bit of structure there.
Yep. So should be interesting. I'm gonna get rid of this over here on the daily actually. And it's weekly anchored VWAP. I think we're already through it, yeah. We're already through it. It's around 40, 50, 60, 40, 57 in that vicinity. And coming up actually here on the weekly at 41.20. So that puts, it's up at 41.24. $41.22. I don't know. I'd want to draw the div that wide. And maybe that ends up being, we'll have to see. Like I said, there's a crop load of econ here this morning around 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. That's 41.15. So I mean, it is really just another 7 points, but then you end up with right above that, you've got your full ADRs 10 points higher. And we don't really want to lose this as a div because I view this as kind of a big one with tier 2 expected move, but 41.10, as we're noting. Is a decent level looking left there. Assuming we even get to the 41.10 level, that we may come up and stop here at kind of this some of this other stuff. Right now we're flirting with those highs back on the 6th and stuff. But right now I don't see anything really gonna stop in it, although there is a lot of stuff that is up at its upper edge of its zones already. And most of it is actually through TGR for the day, except for Google, which is a little bit lackluster, therefore driving XLC to be a little bit lacking. And it looks like XLY is lacking a little bit too. Yeah, I don't know. I think I just watch this as like a super small div. Really, maybe just a speed bump. Because if we're right here, like, just go grab the full ADRs. I mean, it's only another couple bucks higher. So we would keep an eye on that, falling trend line on the weekly there, which again is this one here. Yeah, like it's really kind of responding to that box, like our buddy just said there. Not even wanting to get a bar close really above it. In fact, let's just correct this. Thing is 4081.75. Drives me nuts. So yeah, I think that's ES. I don't know there's really much else to pontificate about it. Well, it didn't get drawn all the way up to that one, but you can get the point there actually on this guy. Kind of combine pieces out of those two zones there. Trend strength, trend guide, big zone to our eyes. And again, we blow all that stuff, we're coming down here. So then over to NQ. We definitely don't need these. That sure shit ain't happening. Yeah, we're already way through the FOMC. Oh, no, we're not through the FOMC highs. I'll take that back. That's over here. But we are up and through last week's highs there. $13,209. Wow, so that puts this August, September. Yeah, these are kind of right in play today, and August highs aren't too far away either, for that matter. Not today or even this week, but I mean, that ABCD is looking more and more valid each day, really.
Yes, indeed.
So I'm kind of ignoring in the middle there the gap fill just above trend strength, and really trying to keep that one fairly small. In fact, let me get off of this one and look at this guy so we get the gap fills and the rest of the stuff. Yeah, naked VAs and whatnot. I was wondering where my line was for monthly AV watt from highs, which we were right at.
Another clean chart, man. I mean, everything seems pretty clean today.
Yeah.
To my eyes, at least.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. So added this one at the far top. So obviously you have the monthly trend guide, the tier 3 expected move, which is way above the full ADRs for sure. And full ADR is going to be up like 280, almost 300 points from the looks of it. But there's a bunch of econ, so who knows kind of how things are gonna play out. If we decide to blow through here, then it's almost kind of like it's just speed bumps along the way. So it's maybe a tomorrow thing anyways, but in any event, if we clear through this monthly VWAP, then you get your quarterly trend guide 2, FOMC highs, the tier 1 daily above that. It's really just TGR by itself there, supply and demand low. Yeah. The bigger piece to me would be this this one up here, and it would actually drag it up to be a little bit higher to capture those September kind of lower highs that we talked about here on the 26th, which puts us up at that 220-ish. 213, 215, whatever-ish level there. And then there's also a range, low volume node there. And then you got, I guess, potential div through there with gap fill, NV, POC, naked VA, tier 1, expected move for the week, etc.
Looks great, my friend. Getting a bit heated there.
Yeah, it is it is definitely into the first tier. We're really kind of close to the second tier on the sell side SC there. But I mean, this kind of pull here the other day definitely helped cool it off on the 20. I'm not going to draw and mark that. It's there, but I don't really care. This is obviously inside a whole bunch of stuff. Really, this weekly pivot is inside, but it also has the swing AV WAP, tier 1 cheat, etc. And I'm going to skip that div and mark this one. No, actually, I'll take that back. Alright, RTY above its TGR already trying to push through the 20, just shy of the weekly trend guide photo. Looks like there's some structure back here too. Yeah, so I'm going to actually drag this down just a touch. It is really close to this zone here that I've drawn, so I don't know if I like that. Really almost like it's the 20 is, it's there and important, but it's a piece versus multiple pieces.
Would you draw that other zone with the weekly trend guide up to the other structure that you have marked there? High. So like from weekly trend guide all the way to the top of that structure, which is also IB high from whenever that day was, the 21st.
Yeah.
Or is that's too wide?
It makes it pretty wide. It's 1800-ish to 1810, but it's one that I think you're in that you probably need to be watching and see where is XBI, where's KRE, what's IWM, like what are they doing to get a sense in there. So yeah, it could very easily in that zone quickly spike up and tag it, or yeah. 200 days continue to fall, so we'll bring this down a little bit to grab the highs from back there in earlier March, which was also the weekly IB stat high, and still capture the 200 day there. Yep, I think that's how I'd probably look at RTY. It doesn't have a lot of zones today, which is kind of nice. You make a case here actually for WPP. This week's weekly IB stat low. It's kind of in the middle of stuff, and so it's one of those. It's there, but how much do you want to care about it? I don't think this will be a valid retrace, but I'm just going to check and see. Yeah, no, we don't even come anywhere close to retracing any of the stuff on there. Points. So if we decide to really get going on RTY, that'd be at 80 points for the day. It's not unheard of. And at that point, like, we're so close to the weekly trend, I don't know if I would care about the weekly photo, because again, we're just keeping an eye on that second week, third week, whatever. There's a structure at 1850, but it'd probably be watching up that other one, but you know, obviously since it's marked, we'll be across all of our charts. We can keep an eye on it. So, RTY. Took and made that a bigger zone, so I don't need that arrow there. Yeah, a bunch of these we actually manually chose to draw bigger zones that we gave this guy the ability to do. You know, and actually here on this one, like, we didn't include the monthly trend guide 2 there. When we drew this last night on this one, we actually drew it to the upper edge of the zone. So it's TGR to the upper edge of supply and demand. We were capturing some of the structure with this thing going up a little bit higher. You do have it right there. It doesn't hurt to keep an eye on it. It is also the weekly IB stat high. Get some gap fills there. It's right below, so to me it's more of a div type of thing than anything else. It's inside. I don't know. I'm not really thrilled with.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Again, with the context of the day too, above, you know, daily R1.
Yep.
That's going to be a major decision point.
Yep. ABCD looks like it will it's going to potentially complete here, so we're going to actually draw it up, this MPP zone up to capture that completion. Above there, if we keep going through there, you've got your weekly trend guide 2, full ADR. I guess where are we at? We're already at 258. Might be a pretty good sized move. That'd be above. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I was debating on if we really even need to or want to track the weekly photo stuff above, which would be that'd be pretty good sized move. I think that's probably a tomorrow thing. Again, it's there. You can mark it. I would include the gap fill, the naked VA, and the tier 2 expected move, daily sheet, etc. And let's see, do we have anything else back here? And we got some monthly anchor VWAPs, it looks like, and stuff. Probably some weeklies for that matter too. Yeah, it's kind of a weak one there in my mind. Now look, maybe YM's leading my cup theory.
Yes, indeed. Wow.
So I also want to see if there's much else here on YM. I have to do something with these lines so that they're drawn the way I want them to be drawn. Yeah, I think that is YM there. We expanded this one to be bigger. "20 days, obviously trying to poke its head up there, trying to move higher. And then we added this one here of the 200-day weekly IB stat low, which is also weekly pivots, gap fill, last week's point of control. It's kind of this bigger zone here. Felt like there's enough things you could, I guess, potentially do 2 smaller zones as opposed to 1 bigger, and potentially look at it like this, where you have last week's or 10-day low volume nodes, stuff like that, and then potentially another one like this if you wanted, or gap fill, 200-day, last week's point of control there. Again, or treat it as 1 bigger. It's up to you. Alright, let's see if I have GC loaded already. I think I do. Got all excited last night, thought it was going to catch an amazing short, and then it stopped right at the fucking photo ADR. Like, I think I got in, actually no, it's like somewhere over here when we broke below the 10-day point of control. Like, I thought I'd put the sell order in and didn't, so I chased a little bit coming out like out of this 82 into like 79. Had a cover lower there to catch something like a swing AV WAP or something like that. I don't know what it was trying to catch now. Yeah, I think it was trying to catch something down here, like TGR, and then it just reversed.
Another one.
Doesn't want to die.
Every day.
Yep, it just doesn't want to die.
I'm wondering if it's gonna want to do this stuff again. It just keeps doing that little higher low, higher low. So we'll see. That trend line is still intact.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I mean, with the way it's actually been kind of doing this, it's allowed the 20-day to cool off. I mean, look at it made that big push and whatever, you know, about 10 days ago, and I mean, it's been elevated, but it's allowing that 20-day to catch up. And now it's all the way up at the tier 1 end of week cheat, March 7th, swing AV WAP. So like it is it's looking more likely like I'm not gonna have any good puts. Or they're gonna expire worthless, I should say. In any event, I'll have to look at that because it actually filled that gap. But it is 52 weeks highs, March highs, prior week. I just don't know if I care about this. We're just going to take that out. Given that stuff there. Below that, you've got an auto supply and demand area, horizontal rays, which has been marking some previous highs and stuff. Last week in the 10-day high value area, right through there. So wouldn't it be bad if we came up and tagged those? Actually, maybe take this down a little bit to capture the end of week or the daily sheet, I should say. Really, I think you can actually drag this down here. Just grab, like, there's no candle close above that high value area even. So just have the top end of it at the high value area stuff there. And then contract rolled. So I always think you can take this down here to the top, very top edge, or in actuality you could just say let's have TG be all by its lonesome. And take and draw trend strength like this, which puts it really more in the middle of everything anyways. It captures photo. And then so you can make that, what's that, WPP? Yeah, your weekly trend strength or weekly pivot, and drag it down with TGR to include the gap fill, the overnight low at the moment at least, photo, and the trend line. And this definitely deserves an anchor here. If we fail that, maybe we start going down and getting the daily expected move, some low volume nodes. Otherwise, it's down lower to the swing AVWAP and stuff there. So there's a daily anchor VWAP too off of that one. So I guess maybe that's what it triggered right on last night from the looks of it there. Alright, so we're going to call that one for GC. And for CL, nice. Fully did fully complete that ABCD yesterday, and got stuffed right at the 10-day high value area. That would have been a VWAP, but it's being rejected. There's here one now. I think I would take this TGR, move it up to grab the wick there, and that wick, and the photo ADRs. Trend strength, however, I'll take it down to just grab the so trend strength, monthly trend guide reversal. Horizontal ray at 72.92, which is also a 10-day high volume node. Looks like it's also the. Oh, that's right. That moved. Those are right on top of each other, though. Really. The point of controls at 72.94. This is the bottom edge of that range box we've been in here. If I can freaking select it. Because we put a daily anchored VWAP right up there to tag that guy. That's probably off of the swing one right here. Pretty damn close to it, yep. And a nice hold there overnight on that one too. So 20-day swing, daily anchored VWAPs are in that same area. So maybe you ignore this one and it comes back down and retest this in real-time hours here, and then goes. Otherwise you get this, which is no longer ADRs. It was a daily anchored VWAP.
TSRP is only so wide.
It's like 40
Are you
cents.
looking at it that wide?
It's like 40. It's like 40 cents, 50 cents to grab your monthly trend guide, some point of control, gap fill. I mean, sure you can take it. Like that, and then have another zone right beneath it, 20 cents lower.
Yeah. With the inside div type of thing.
I mean, I'll fully profess, like, I don't have the best, like, what's your limit for how big you want to have your CL zones? I mean,
yeah.
Because my challenge is if you put another one right here with your monthly trend guide, looks like that's a gap fill, then You got one there, and then you've got another one right here, and then we've got another one there too.
Yeah, another 40 ticks lower or something. So.
Right. Now, potentially the way to look at it is just to go, who gives a crap? Who gives a crap? You know, potentially even just ignore TGR and look for it like that. And maybe that's a better thing longer term to do anyways, because then you're not, you know, watching in anticipation of every 5 points, 10 points, or in this case, you know, 10 tick, 20 tick type of things. But it does look like it wants to reject kind of right there.
Yeah, I do like that TGR zone. And you got some nice little structure going back, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, 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 then it popped over and it's immediately rejected, so it could do a little lower high.
But it's also got a the swing AV WAP from last night that it bounced right off of with the daily anchor VWAPs, you know, 20 day. Like, I mean, that was a nice little bounce there, which puts it right at trend strength. So it's like you're watching it wiggle.
Tough one. The tough one for me. I don't know how to separate these zones here.
Yeah, it doesn't help. Yesterday it was the $1.16 range.
You alright, BK?
I'm just looking. I'm trying to decide what to do with these other upper edge zones here with the stuff there. What, did you hear the wheels stop turning or something?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like how they're just right on top of each other. It's just, it's like, ooh, get excited. Oh no, ooh, get excited. Oh no, ooh, get like. It draws by doing them actually this way. Like my challenge is it makes you think like, oh, I'm gonna try it every 2 fucking seconds. Like, okay, do I really need to care about the photo ADR? Or should I maybe watch for a zone like that? And yeah, this will be here, but I could watch XLE and see how it's reacting here, but really be more prepared for this one. And if it rejects here, then okay, cool, it rejected there. It's at a lower high, but
I'm almost tempted to just leave it how like you had it, like just make that TGR zone all the way to the top of that structure, just one wider zone, and then where you have I don't want to probably ignore the daily and just make it a div into the 50-day and end of week dives gap fill. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean that's pretty. You see all that structure going back. I mean, boom, boom. I think even back into February of last year we had. So this would be like sort of a breakdown retest type of thing. Oh, not February last year, February this year. What the hell am I talking about? Just because I said that, watch it like reject exactly at the daily bodies.
yeah. Well,
Do you have any meaningful ABCDs?
it completed the ABCD yesterday
Yeah.
from the 19th. And it's not a big enough. I mean, I guess you could say there's a very short term one here. That puts it up at the gap fill end of week 50-day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is what I mean was catching my eye here, right? So we've been trading this range, and they broke below it. Well, the low volume area is right there at 73.84, and like we couldn't even close above it. Like we, open above it even, I would say. And like I'm still learning a bit about it, but I mean, like this to me looks like it's a P type of profile, which means distribution versus accumulation. And so, like, that I think would tend to mean it's more, get distributed out there further, but maybe not. Like, I'm still trying to understand and get more details around that. But you are probably right in the sense that it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to include some of this other stuff in here. And I think you could even keep the weekly trend guide with this, but just kind of ignore this whole. There's a gap fill there. There's the high volume nodes for the 10-day, and I think it's last week. Point of control is right there. But just kind of ignore it because it is just inside of the last few days here, and maybe you come down and touch it though. So you could have like a super small one right there. So you div just a little bit below, you set a higher low off of what you did earlier from the 28th. And so now come back and do a higher low off of that. And then continue the move. And try to go up to the end of week and the gap fill on the 50-day.
Yeah.
And then further above there, then you got your January 20th weekly anchored VWAP, full ADRs, weekly trend guide 2. I got some structure looking left there a little bit. Decided to skip through that. Then you go up and you've got a gap fill weekly photo. You'd reclaim some of these longer term monthlies. And what's that, MPP? So and then forgetting all that, you decide to break down. Then you've got, what's this, high value area, supply and demand, daily cheats. Decide to break all that. Then you come way down here and you grab some daily anchored VWAPs from, what's that, March 20th. Gap fill, full ADRs has moved up, so it's not in there anymore. Yeah. I think I'd leave CL like that and probably ignore that one. Watch this guy, somewhat pay attention to this one, but really be more ready for something up here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Not going to care about that. I'm not going to care about that. I will actually care about this one. Take that back. This we made a zone. Trend strength we're basically ignoring. So that is CL shell. And meanwhile, with all that back and forth, ES has barely moved 8 ticks in the last hour. Four points maybe.
Let's see what happens.
Yep.
Alright, my man. Thank you so much, dude.
Thank you.
Are you gonna go back to do the SVXY or are you done?
I already did SVXY. I posted it in the...
I mean, which one's the one that you skipped? VIX?
VIX. I pulled it up and looked at it while you were off screen. Like, it just... I mean, the zones are so small that... let's see if it actually updates. I don't know what the hell it's doing now. I tell you, I just have this horrible love-hate thing with this. Like, I was wrong. It traded an amazing 36 cents yesterday. Not 76, 36. So the zones are so small that you can encompass TG, TSRP, and TGR all into one damn thing. Like,
right.
So.
Get that. Alright, my man. Appreciate you, sir.
Thank
Wish
you.
you a fantastic day.
Yep, you too. Appreciate it.
Right. Take care. Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye now. All right, folks, that is it. We are going to wrap up here today. This has been a lovely prep session. It is it's pretty interesting to see kind of where some of those are at. The CL one really has got us thinking, like, we need to think about some other ways to kind of break up and look at that, because those zones are like a penny in CL is what I think $10, and so let me just double check that. I'm trying to remember. I think it's a penny is $10 in CL. Yeah, 1 penny is $10. So having a 50 tick zone or 50-cent zone, like that's not inexpensive if you're wrong. That's pretty bad if you're wrong. I mean, that's $500. I don't mean, that's most people's car payments. And so, like, do you really want to be wrong by a car payment? You know, if you're just trading one contract. And so, I think we may need to rethink and refactor, and maybe even have a different algo for CL in general. So still look through the same elements and whatever else, but be more selective in finding the zones, and really need to actually do some more back testing and whatnot on this market profile stuff. It's obviously been around for a very long time, from the Daltons and whatnot. It's not one that we had gone through in our kind of early trainings, teachings, whatever else. So we need to dig into it a lot more here, really. But if you're really trying to play for the mean reversions and those kind of things, then I would argue that this isn't like a big, yeah, you came up here yesterday, this was a bigger zone, but today now it's inside. You're inside of yesterday's range, whatever else. Yesterday you came up into this bigger area in the 74s, you're at the high value area, the range box, low value area. These were actually tighter yesterday, and so you got a 200 tick fade, give or take, 74.22 to 72.50. I mean, so not 200 ticks, but I mean that's not insignificant there. And then this, you know, yeah, it's been nice 72.50 up back to 74. It's nice kind of 150-ish ticks there. But are those really the moves you want to play for? I don't know. Just talking it out there. So, anyways, again, hope everybody had a good one. Hopefully, this has been beneficial, and we will catch y'all later. Thank you very much.